The Hitch-Hiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. Arthur Dent is an average 30-year-old Englishman who, after a series of improbable events, finds himself traveling across the universe after the Earth has been destroyed abruptly on one Thursday. I'm not saying that this is definitely the funniest book ever written, but I think if you are having that conversation about which is the funniest book ever written, this book has to be in the conversation. This is a very funny book, especially the part leading up to the Earth getting destroyed and Arthur Dent has to protect his house from being bulldozed over. It's just hilarious. I tried reading it out loud to people before and I always have to stop and laugh, just get it out of my system before I can move on. It's very clever. The style of humor is the best part about British comedy. It's witty, it's quirky and weird, and just the perfect sort of absurd way to actually work and to be quotable. It kind of reminds me of Monty Python and a lot of their best sketches. They kind of go along with this style of humor, which is right up my alley. I love it. I've always thought that doing comedy in a book form is tricky because you may think of a funny line and it may work for the particular scene, but then it's hard to keep going with the novel, crafting it around this weird joke that you told that you thought was really funny on page 5. But it's like you have to live with it through the whole way. So it's hard for these individual jokes to actually work together to something that works as a novel and that is still funny as a whole. But that's the miracle of this book, because I think he pulls it off very well. There's strangely a lot of wisdom in this book too, for being so weird and absurd. I recently read Elon Musk's biography, and in that book he talks about how Elon Musk was really influenced by reading The Hitch-Hiker's Guide to the Galaxy. There's the story of people getting together to build this super intelligent computer, and they ask the computer, what's the meaning of life, the universe, and everything? And this super intelligent computer takes millions of years, and everyone's waiting for the final answer to come, so they finally have it all together. And the response that the computer says is 42. And so after a lot of confusion and going back and forth, the nugget of wisdom from all this is once you understand the question, then you'll be able to understand the answer. And that's something that Elon Musk always talks about, that the questions are actually tricky and the answers are easy. So to me, it's a great example of how a book can illustrate a serious point in a funny, entertaining way. So here's a few of the bits that jump out to me why I think this book is so wonderful. The reasoning of why the towel is the most useful thing to have for anyone hitchhiking the galaxy, the last thoughts of a whale before it plummets to its death, the whole bit about the Vogon poetry being the worst in the universe, the whole plot line with the super intelligent computer, the thing with the rats being the ones that are actually running experiments on us this whole time, and of course everything with the bulldozer scene I thought was just brilliant. I just loved it. I have not read any of the sequels to this book. I'm kind of curious, but I haven't heard any great praise about them or any great complaints about them, so let me know in the comments below if you could recommend them or anti-recommend them. I'm kind of curious which way that goes. But as for this book itself, 5 stars.